Nikki Haley is arguing to New Hampshire voters that she would give Republicans a better chance of winning in November than former President Trump. Let's listen.
You look at any of these general election polls, any of them, Trump and Biden, it's a dead heat. I'm in every one of those same general election polls, and I defeat Biden by up to 17 points.
CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent and my colleague Robert Costa joins us now. Robert, always great to see you.
Great to see you, Major.
You spoke with Governor Sununu earlier today, primary day. He's very excited about all this. Let's listen to what he had to say, and I want to get your reaction on the other side.
She's building on the momentum that she got out of Iowa. She's guaranteed herself, I think, a strong second-place finish here. And now she gets to go to her home state of South Carolina. So all those check boxes that we had about a month and a half ago, we hope we do this, we've already gotten that. So now we're within a stone's throw of potentially beating Trump.
When you say it's a stone's throw away from beating Trump, what does that mean? Specifically,
it's possible.
Numbers-wise. You think she can get within single digits of Trump?
Of course. Oh, absolutely it's possible. We're going to have record turnout here. This isn't some small voter turnout, just a few people of the base coming out.
You have been out front with Ambassador Haley, helping her at every turn. Are you disappointed in other top Republicans, longtime traditional Republicans, for sitting on the sidelines, for not endorsing Haley, for just staying quiet?
I'll say this. I don't mind telling you, I'm more disappointed with those Republicans that I've had very detailed backroom conversations with about Trump. I know none of them respect Trump. None of them like Trump.
Name some names.
No, I'm not going to name names. Now they're all galvanizing around Trump. It wouldn't be, if it wasn't so serious, it would be funny, right? So none of these guys that are getting behind Trump have any respect for him. They really don't. We've all talked about it for the last 2 years. This is why most of them ran against him. It was obvious, and now they're all going to galvanize.
Are they scared of him? Is it all fear?
They're scared of, not just they're scared of him, but they're scared of the base. They're scared of being primary. They're scared of being out front and talking about what they believe and the vision they see for the country. They've all kind of put that in the back seat to kind of protect their own politics. So no, that's probably more what I'm disappointed with than anything else.
Now, Robert, Governor Sununu is a quick talker. I just want to tease out the thing he said. A stone's throw of potentially being in a position to defeat Trump. There's a lot of conditional words between.
Well, Major, I could toss a pebble at you right now, or I could take a rock and throw it across the room. A stone's throw is how you define a stone's throw.
And then you put potentially in there.
He said exactly right. Possibly a stone's throw.
Right.
I think what you hear.
They're trying to manage expectations.
Manage expectations.
Clearly.
Because I'm hearing from my sources in the Haley orbit and the Trump orbit that this might not be close. They're hoping on the Haley side for a surprise.
Yep.
That she can close the gap. The traditional Republicans and independents are going to close strong. That she's appealing to women in this state especially. But the Trump people I'm talking to today, I know we overlap a lot in the calls we make. They're feeling very confident. Now, that's could be spin, but they're feeling confident based on their internal polling.
So the Trump campaign in New Hampshire has several surrogates, and they've been running around the state for the last 2 or 3 days. One of them, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. You also spoke with him. Let's listen to what Tim Scott had to say.
Do you expect the Republican Party to unite around former President Trump following the New Hampshire primary? Should he emerge with a victory?
Oh, of course. I think they're already coalescing around the former president as we speak. Every day gets better. There's momentum growing every single day. The good news is that the results tonight will only create more momentum for South Carolina. I believe this race is already over.
You have known Governor Haley for a long time.
I have.
Should she not win here in New Hampshire, what do you expect her to do, knowing her for so long?
Well, she's tenacious. I know she's coming home to South Carolina. I would love for her to join the Trump team and go ahead and endorse now and not wait any time. Every day we're not talking about Joe Biden and the abysmal performance he's brought to our country. It's a day wasted. So I'm looking forward to getting to the contrast between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
What's your outlook on the South Carolina primary should she decide to stay in the race?
Trump by 20 plus.
20 plus, that
20
big
plus.
of a margin?
Yes.
What gives you confidence that it could be that big of a win for Trump?
Being born and raised in South Carolina.
She has said in recent days that she believes former President Trump is declining. Is that your read of the former president? And do you believe that because of those statements, it might be tough for her to ingratiate or integrate into the Trump campaign should she decide to get out?
Well, this is a big tent party. We've got plenty of room for everybody who wants to vote for Donald Trump. I think she will be voting for Donald Trump in the presidential race herself. So we're looking forward to getting the coalescing to continue and mounting towards victory in November. So I look forward to that happening. I think it happens in the next several weeks.
Are you willing to be on the ticket with former President Trump?
I'm willing to help the ticket. I don't need to be on the ticket to be helpful. The bottom line is that this should not be about me. I mean, anytime you make something about yourself, I think you're making a critical mistake.
Senator Scott predicting a 20-point plus victory
20-point
in South Carolina, and basically saying to the Haley campaign, every day that you're not on the team is a day wasted. But as of today, we heard, Robert, the Haley campaign say an ad buy in South Carolina, full plan to go there. They are sounding, and I know, and we've seen it, you can sound confident and aggressive and things pull back, but they're trying to make it appear as if South Carolina is a real deal for them.
They know it's a tough road ahead in South Carolina. What I'm intrigued by is the argument among some Haley allies that she could maybe weather a blowout of 20-plus points in South Carolina, even losing her home state, to try to make a play for Super Tuesday. And say to the Republican Party nationwide, I might not be winning every state, but I'm going to start picking up some delegates in March. Might even win a state like Colorado, like Utah, like Virginia, and start to maybe look toward the convention and assert herself nationally. The question is, can she come out of South Carolina, if Senator Scott is right, with a big loss and still build a national campaign? It's a tough bet for her because she is young, and she says to herself politically, I could run in 2028, and if I run in 2028, do I want to have a big loss in South Carolina on my political resume? At the same time, people close to her say, as you know, in presidential politics, sometimes you only have one shot.
Right.
And if you don't see it out, you may never see it again.
And part of that message from Nikki Haley to those Republican donors is, look, you say you're not satisfied with Trump. Put your money where your mouth is. Help me carry this on, and don't leave me after one or two races, essentially.
So much is going to come down to the margin tonight. If it's 10, 15, 20 points for Trump in New Hampshire,
That's a harder conversation.
it's a harder conversation. And I think it's a harder conversation for donors. A lot of donors I'm talking to, they have their hands on their wallet tonight. They're ready to open it, but they're not rushing to open it. They want to see what happens tonight in New Hampshire. If it's clear that she's winning women, she's making inroads with women, she's making inroads with independent voters, moderate Republican voters.
And those suburban areas of whatever state that she competes in, that is a constituency of vital importance in the general election.
Plus, you have a front runner. We've never seen in history a front runner facing 2 federal trials during the election, plus everything else that's going on, from a defamation trial to a civil fraud trial to hush money payments to a porn star trial. It goes on and on. Plus Georgia. All of that's facing the front runner. So if she can stay until Super Tuesday, have some money, start winning some delegates, maybe win some states, maybe something happens to Trump. But for her, that's a big political gamble.
But also talk about this in insurance policy ways. Look, Republicans, you might need an alternative. Help me stay in and be that potential alternative.
Where are the supporters? You talk to people close to Senator Mitch McConnell. He doesn't like former President Trump.
Not at all.
But what does McConnell keep saying publicly? I'm not getting involved in the primary. So many Republicans who don't like Trump are sitting on their hands, money-wise, politically speaking, because they don't want to have the war against Trump, especially knowing he's looming as the likely nominee.
They don't want a primary fight. They don't want the backlash. They don't want the negativity. They just want to avoid that if they can. But as is often said, Robert, in politics, sometimes you have to choose.
Haley does not necessarily have a cavalry ready to come behind her, even if she wins tonight. This is going to be a lonely road for her politically. It's going to say a lot about what she wants, how she thinks about her future. How she handles the next 24 hours will be a prism into who Nikki Haley really is as a politician.
And very quickly, she has done the New Hampshire campaign style basically the last 72 hours. Wasn't doing that nearly as much. Her ground game is subcontracted to Americans for Prosperity. They got in late November. Those kind of things seem to me structural disadvantages.
I saw her today on the campaign trail, said hello to her briefly, watched her campaign in Bedford, New Hampshire. It wasn't the campaign spirit of a machine, okay? The Sununu machine's behind her.
Or something catching fire at the last second.
She has soft encouragement from a lot of people. We're glad you're running.
Gentle nods.
And some people were excited to see her. But she's not a movement politician. Trump's a movement politician, whether you despise him or love him. He's a movement celebrity politician who's a nationalist, who has all of this conduct that's outside of the norms of American politics. She is within the norms of traditional Republican politics. So those who like that are saying, hey, she's one of us. It's good to see her at the polls. But those who have been taken by Trump, I saw it today with my own eyes. People would go up within a foot of her and go, Trump, Trump, Trump.
Right.
I mean, it's right in her face.
Right in her face, which is also the New Hampshire way.
And that's all coming even rougher if she stays in this race.
That'll be even rougher in South Carolina. Robert Costa, thank you so very much.